stop.
Yeah, sure.
We worked on Java 8, right?
Yes.
So I have a Java array list with 1,000 elements
We
and
have array list with.
array list
Okay.
having 100 elements,
Okay.
and out of some duplicates are there.
Okay.
So I want to remove duplicates by using Java 8 library. How you will do?
Okay. One simple way I can suggest you, if we can simply put into hash set, and then we can retrieve it from the hash set, then that will be that there won't be any duplicates. So if you want to use some using Java 8, if we want to put, then we can first convert that list into streams. Like streams contains three operations: intermediate and tertiary. So into intermediate options, we can put the distinct and then pass the list. So it will in the ternary operator, we can collect them into some other list, and then we can if we want to print, then that will be duplicates will be removed if we are using distinct keyword.
What is the purpose of lambda expression?
Yeah, so lambda expressions are actually anonymous functions that gives implementation for the functional interfaces.
What else? What is the syntax of lambda expression?
Yeah, so mainly the lambda expressions are into three parts. First, left part is the argument. Okay, so left part is the arguments for that method or that anonymous method that we want to implement, and in the center is the symbol for lambda expression, and on the right side is the implementation. Suppose if we have some abstract method and which contains one parameter, then we will be one parameter. If one parameter, then we will be giving the parameters into the bracket, and then lambda expression, then giving the implementation. Simply, if we want to write some print, then we can simply write the sysout statement over there. That's all.
How we can handle null pointer exception using Java 8?
Yeah. So into Java 8, they have introduced the optional. So using optional, we have various methods, whether it's present or is nullable. So using this, we can check whether it's null or not, and we can handle it. If it's null, then we can return some message out of it.
Okay, I have an employee class with two properties, ID and name.
Okay.
I created two objects. Object 1, e1.id equal to 10, e1.name equal to LTI, and e2.id equal to 10, e2.name equal to LTA. When I am comparing e1 dot equals null case of e2, will return true or false.
Okay. So these two objects like values you have made same, right?
Yes,
Okay, but you haven't overridden that hash code and equals method, right?
yes.
Okay, so in that case, it will return false
Why it will return false?
because they are two separate objects and they have separate locations. So they will be treated as different. And if we want to because the values are same, then actually it should behave like these are same. Then we have to override equals and hash code method.
Java will work by pass by value or pass by reference phenomenon.
Uh, Java is it's passed by value.
Suppose one in Java one thread is it's dead state. It went into dead state to thread. I
Okay.
created one thread. It went into dead state.
Okay.
Is there any possibility again to bring back the thread?
No.
Which one is better for creating thread? Runnable interface or extending the thread?
Uh, I would say runnable is better because we can if we are extending thread class, then we can't extend any other class. So by implementing runnable interface, we have option to extend some class if required.
Can you tell me thread life cycle?
Yeah. So thread life cycle is like it's into ready state. and then it's into running state, and then it's into hold or like executing, and like then it's terminated state.
What is the purpose of volatile keyword in Java?
Yeah. So volatile is used for like once there is some we are doubtful like this value is updating multiple times. So for fetching the latest value, we are using volatile for that.
How to create custom singleton class in core Java?
Custom.
Singleton class.
Okay, okay. So for that class, like we need to focus on the logic for singleton actually. So if we want to create a singleton class, then simply create a singleton class, and then we we will create a method, so get instance method, and into that method we will be providing one instance by properly checking whether some instance is already created or not. Like we will be checking if some object is not created, then we will be creating a synchronized block inside the method, and inside the synchronized block we will be creating a new instance, and we will also be checking once more if some instance is created, then we will be returning that same instance. Otherwise we will be creating a new instance and returning that, and we will be creating the constructor as private so that nobody else can create a
Suppose someone has cloned this class, it will return the same object or it will return the new object.
If like if simply we are doing the clone, that then it's returning the same object actually. So like I will tell you one scenario. If suppose we have two classes, one is parent class, and then there is like employee and address. Suppose so employee contains the instance of address class, and if we are doing the um, clone of employee class, then the reference will simply be copied actually. So if somebody change the address, then that will be uh, like changed into our cloned object also. That's a concept of like shallow copy. While we are doing clone, then it's shallow copies.
Suppose I have created the same object while deserializing, it will return the same object or a reference only it will create new object or reference only it will return.
We had one object, we have serialized it, and then we are serializing it back, then it will be creating the reference of that.
I have an array of 100 elements and random elements with some duplicates. I want to remove duplicates and without touching collection library. How you will do?
Okay, so we want to remove the duplicates from there, right? So I can do one thing. We can create like one was you don't want me to use any methods, right? Like
Yes,
that we
collection.
used
Yeah,
earlier,
collection.
distinct. Okay, okay. So
Yes.
we can create it like this way. We can store the frequency of that any element into a map, like a value, like the element,
No, no, no.
and then
I thought I told you don't use any collections, map, lists. Nothing I don't want to use.
okay. Then in that case, we will be iterating it using two loops. So in the first loop, we are moving a pointer from the first element till the last, and into the second loop, we will be comparing that element that we had into the first, comparing with all of them. If we are getting the element, then we are not adding to some list, or like we are not printing it. But if there is no match, then we are printing.
What is the root interface in collection framework?
That's a collections interface.
Suppose in collection I have two classes, tree map and hash map.
Okay.
Performance wise, which one is best?
Okay. What's the difference is like tree map is um, um, that is sorting also. So hash map's performance is better.
How generics used in collection framework?
Yeah. So generics that I will take example of list. So early like we are providing a generic a type to the list. Like this type will be of string, so it will be containing the string type of arguments elements only. So that's a concept of generics. Earlier, like we if we are not using the generics, then we how we are declaring is that this is a list and it can contain anything. Like it can contain an object and it can contain a string. So like we are not aware of the behavior, like what will be we will be getting out of this list. So if we are providing a generic type to it that it contains string, so uh, then that's like we can prevent from exception. Like sometimes we are casting it to some object and we are getting um, the element out of string that's of some other object. So there are exceptions with the casting of class, so that we can avoid using generics.
Do you have worked on or knowledge on Servlet and JSP libraries?
No, actually,
Any knowledge?
no. I just know that like into Spring Boot application, so we are using servlets. That is based on servlets actually. So like we are using dispatcher servlets and all to get the request and all. But I don't have any knowledge on to this.
Okay. In the Spring Boot, what is the bean scopes?
Actually, there are five bean scopes: prototype, session, global session, request, and singleton.
Okay. I have a class, employee class. Uh, Employee class ID equal to employee 1
Okay.
and class equal to employee. Scope is equal to singleton.
Okay.
I have again one more bean ID equal to bean2,
Okay.
class equal to same employee, scope equal to singleton. So
Okay.
whenever creating the employee object, in entire Spring framework, how many employee objects will create?
Only single will be created.
Only.
One will be created.
So okay. What is the difference between singleton scope and the prototype scope?
Yeah. So singleton is like it will have a single instance for the same for that bean, and in the prototype it's like there will be multiple instances for that.
What is the purpose of active qualifier in a Spring framework?
Uh, Annotation qualifier, right?
Yes.
Okay. So once when we have multiple beans, like two beans with the same type, so then we are providing the name of that bean by using the qualifier annotation. Into the argument of the qualifier, we are passing the name.
Did you work on any testing like JUnit or test engine?
Yeah, I have used JUnit and Mockito.
Suppose I want to test static methods, how you will test?
Okay, so that's not possible using Mockito. So we are using Power Mockito for
How you will mark in the Power Marketer static methods?
that. There is a method called mock static. So using that we are doing it.
Spring Boot, I don't want to use Tomcat.
Okay.
I want to deploy it in JBoss. What you will do?
Okay. So for that, first we have to exclude Tomcat. So that we have to do, and then we have to include any other server that we want to include. So we will be adding the dependency to Tomcat.
By then how you can run in JBoss? By
Uh,
excluding Tomcat itself is it will work.
Sorry, excluding Tomcat itself is
Is excluding Tomcat from pom.xml is enough? Is anything we need to do?
no. After excluding, we need to add JBoss dependency.
The Spring Boot will support JBoss.
Uh, Generally, like we are using Tomcat and then Weblo. uh, like, like we are using var for that, deploying on JBoss, but directly I don't know whether it will support or not. Generally, we are doing creating a var and then we are deploying on JBoss.
What is the purpose of team lead module in Spring Boot?
Sorry, I didn't get the module name.
Team lead module.
Team lead. No, I don't know about this.
How you have implemented exception handling in Spring Boot?
Yeah. So we have a common structure for the entire application. So we have a we have declared a poser for that, and we are throwing the exception every time using throws and then taking to the controller, and we have created a separate class with the controller advice, which can which uses the shared resources with all the controllers, and into that controller advice class we have created several methods with the status codes and the proper exception type, like if it's a file not found, if it's a IO exception, if it's a null. So we have defined that methods with the status code into that. So whenever some exception is thrown into that application, then that goes to the controller, and then using that controller advice class, that it finds the message which I need to send back to the UI.
I have more question for you. Spring Boot, I want to connect MongoDB as well as Oracle. How you will connect at a time?
Okay, so like if you want to connect different database, then we are doing profiles actually. So like we have one application properties file, but if we want to connect several databases, so we can create multiple application properties file with the name like application properties dev and QA suppose, and into one we are mentioning the details of Oracle DB, and into the other we are mentioning the details of MongoDB, and we have to add the dependency of both of them into the pom.xml, and then we are making active profile is dev, then that Oracle database will be connected, and if we are working on active profile as QA, then the MongoDB will be working.
Here, uh, so why we need two application dot property files?
For connecting to two different database, we are uh, uh, storing their username and their connection details into that URL, username, database name, password, and these things.
Okay, we cannot place it in one application dot property files, both the configurations.
Yes, we can put that, but it's if we are doing it in different profiles, then it's better. We can directly say that this profile is active, then we know that this database will be connected.
From Spring Boot, how you will call stored procedure?
Yeah, so we are here we are using JPA repository actually. So if we want to execute some query, so directly we are giving it into the at the rate query. We are using at the rate query annotation over that method, and then we are directly giving the query over there, complete query.
I don't want any GPA. I just want to use only Spring libraries to call stored procedure from MySQL or Oracle, any uh, database.
Okay. Okay. So if we are following it so we are not having the JPA repository at all. Okay. So there are annotations for that. Like if you are calling stored procedures, then that's at that procedure annotation that we are using, and then inside that we are uh, like uh, passing the name of that procedure actually. Yes.
Like Spring doesn't have any possibilities.
Sorry.
Through Spring we cannot achieve that functionality.
Actually, I haven't used it, so I haven't done that way, so I don't have much idea whether we are able to do it or not. Earlier, when we
So
used to do using JDBC, at that time we have like connection details and all the things. That time we used to directly call the stored procedures.
we have knowledge on Angular, any knowledge.
Yes, like we have developed the application, so I know the how we are doing the component, how we are doing the components, and then we are giving the methods into the TSX files. We are mentioning. I have actually worked on dynamic forms, so that
Okay, okay. And Angular, what is the building blocks of the Angular application?
component. I would say.
Building blocks of any Angular application.
Hmm. No, no, I don't know.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, I have done from my end.